power is epileptic, and many of these youth may not be able to have the fund to provide their own source of power. It's a big challenge, and we as stakeholders in the industry are still preaching to government to make it possible for some of these youths to have the alternative source of power, maybe solar energy that they can access and begin to pay on instrumental basis, because they may not be able to afford it one at a time. Even as much as we have access to internet at this time, still there are still limited access to internet. Quite a number of those in the rural areas who are youth do not have access to internet, and it is a big challenge. Even those who are in the urban center, it is not everybody that can afford to get internet as much as they would want to. In some climes in the world, what they do is that there are certain areas where you have free Wi-Fi services whereby youth can go to do whatever they want to do in the tech space with free internet access. I'm sure we'll also get there one of these days.
All right, let's talk about another aspect. Some of them might have various ideas, various dreams they want to, achieve over time. Another thing is actually viability of this project that they want to get into. If you were to really advise right now, what sort of ventures, if you can name a few, that they can actually get into? I know right now fintech is actually a big deal in the country, and maybe agriculture or agri-tech as it is. So what's your advice really as regards viability and such ventures to get into?
One of the best business a youth can venture into today, as you have said, is the tech and innovation space. There's a lot of opportunities there. We have quite a number of mobile applications coming up, and the owners are making millions, if not billions, out of it. So tech and innovation is one area that I will advise any youth to venture into now. It has limitless, endless opportunities. And a lot of youth are doing well. We have quite a number of youth who are into web design, quite a number of youth who also do branding for companies, large, medium, small companies, and are making a lot of it. Agri-tech is also another good venture that you have mentioned. Agribusiness is a thing now. While the youth may not want to do manual farming, we don't even encourage them to go into manual farming, but there are a lot of space there. Organic farming is bringing in a lot of funding now, and it's also very productive and profitable. It's one area that the youth can go into. Adding value to agricultural product is another way that youth can make themselves engaged and begin to make a lot of money. We have a lot of agricultural produce that are wasting away that the youth can, with their knowledge, their education and technology, add value to them. Even those who are not wasting, we can turn them to something better and begin to make more money beyond the normal farmer. We also have distribution channels open up to the youth. The youth can engage in ensuring that they collect this product from the farmers and sell it to those who need it, even to the point of exporting it to foreign countries and making a lot of money from it. The retail sector too is another sector that is also very vibrant now, that the youth can also venture into. There's a lot of opportunities there. We have those into fashion industry making a lot of money, those into catering business and doing it in an innovative way. I was in a program yesterday. You need to see the way snacks were served. You will begin to wonder, is it really snacks or something else? That's the kind of innovation that is coming into the retail sector. We have a lot of activities going on in the online market. A lot of things is going on in the online market. You see a lot of youth now able to sell their products, their wares on the social media. You can also see them not just selling, but becoming agents to other companies. Some people are selling shoes, bags. They don't own any of those shoes or any of those bags. They are just middlemen, and they are making their money from social media. We have some of the youth going to skits making, and it's a lot of money too. And that space is endless. There are so many opportunities there that can absorb even all the use of our country. That is the area they want to go. We have a lot of youth also going into partnership with established companies. These are also very, very, very good ends that the youth can also explore. The connection with the established companies is such that they become middlemen or agents selling their products, selling their services, selling their whatever they offer, and they are making their commission from it. These are some of the areas that the youths can engage in. One area that I should also mention is the real estate. Real estate is also giving youth a lot of money. Now, you don't need to have any form. All you need to do is to have somebody who wants to sell a property, be it a land or a building, and matchmake that person with the buyer, and you take your commission right there and then and begin to enjoy yourself.
All right, I haven't said all of that now. You mentioned something where, in passing, you talked about the place of mentorship and education and learning, some of those skills from people who have been there, But another way to look at it would be entrepreneurship education. Do you think we're doing enough in terms of teaching these skills in institutions of higher learnings?
Well, before now, there's a big gap in the higher institution when it comes to entrepreneurship. There's a very, very big gap, but that is closing up this time. Closing up in the sense that, one, we don't have a lot of NGOs coming up now to advocate for the need to have entrepreneurship as part of the curriculum in higher institutions. And if you look at it now, most of the higher institutions now have entrepreneurship education as part of their curriculum. In fact, there is also an MOU signed now by the League of Higher Institutions with stakeholders in entrepreneurship, including our own association, to give internship to those who have been trained in the higher institution to come to our end and have 3 months, 6 months training, on-the-job training of what they have received as theory in the higher institution to now look at the practical side of it, and it is working. You also discover that the government at all levels, federal and state, are also coming up with technical vocational education that is now in tandem with the need of the society. Before now, what we have in these vocational centers is that they are trained on skills that are archaic, on skills that are not needed in the market. But now what they now do is that they now conduct skills that are demand-based, what the market needs. They now go out and conduct research on what is available in the market, what does the industry needs. And these are the data that now make up what they now use as their basis for training these students so that they can be relevant to the needs of the society. And I think we are making a lot of progress in that regard. With what is happening now in the next few years, I foresee that we are going to have so much training beyond what the youth needs, because a lot of activities is going on there. For your information, the federal government has just reviewed the curriculum for the technical board that has to do with all the technical education in the country. And the reason for this is that they have also come to understand that our youth must be in tandem with what is available and what is needed in the global space, not just in Nigeria alone, such that even when they travel out, they will not be third citizens in wherever they go, but they will be as relevant as the first citizens of those countries. And that's a good development.
All right, Dr. Agbeshola, before we let you go now, the final question would be your advice, rather, for people or young people who have started business not so long ago, and just because of the challenges presently, everyone is facing in the country, that is, and the macroeconomic challenges and all that, they are seemingly thinking of going out of business. So what would your advice for that person be?
Well, before I go into the advice, I want to say that we have two categories of youths going into business. The first category are those who are going into business because, not that they are interested in the business, but they've tried all means and they think that the only way they can feed is just to go into something, and that thing is business. The next category is those who have passion for business. They really want to go into business, and that is driving force that makes them go into business. Those are the ones that can do enduring business. And I think while my advice would be for the generality, but particularly for those who have developed passion for what they want to do and have gone to the point of starting a business. So I want to advise them that in every disadvantage, there's an advantage. One advantage we have now is that quite a number of youths are leaving this country in the name of Japa. Quite a number of those who have also started business are folding up. And that is a reason for those who are in the business, for the seriousness of it, to stay put, because it means that the competition is reducing. It means that the market is increasing for us. And it means that if we're able to endure this period, it is a time that we're going to enjoy to the utmost whatever we have labored for now. So I want to encourage you to be persistent, to endure, and to continue to be innovative about what to do. When you are into a business and the challenges are so much, the only way you can survive is to now include innovation and creativity to what you do. So see how you can now improve on that your business, on that your product, on that your service, to be able to be better than whatever it is available in the market now. And you will discover that as the competition is reducing, you'll be making more profits. I foresee that in the next few years, so to me in the next 2 years, this country will be better for all of us who are into business here, who are into entrepreneurship here, because the new body language of government is that they want to discourage export, and we're already seeing it. Right. To some of us, we want the price of a foreign bag of rice to go to as much as 100,000 or more. We want Naira to even fall the more so that we can compete here better and favorably. It is the best time for us, if and only if you can wait to see it.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Femi Egbeshola, for your time and all of the wonderful inputs and insights that you have shared on the show today.
Thank you so much, too.
All right, Dr. Femi Egbeshola is the president of ASBON, Association of Small Business Owners in Nigeria, and he joined us to talk about youth entrepreneurship and, of course, opportunities for startups. I am Justin Akadonia. I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.
Increase the reach of your events or business services. To advertise on PlusTvAfrica, please call 0906 000 5719 or 0909 040 8408, or send an email to marketing@PlusTvAfrica.com. Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
A 20-meter cliff, a couple of ropes, freezing cold water, and me trying to cope with all of that. I did make it down in the end, but this outing with a couple of guys really had me testing my limits. And that's precisely our topic this week on Made, leaving the comfort zone. I'm Chris Kober, welcome. We don't want to be bogged down with details, do we? It is the result that counts. Well, sometimes it's the details that unveil an inconvenient truth. Take meat production. We know that for us to be able to slap that steak on our grill, an animal needs to die. often enough in anything but a gentle or respectful way. Our reporter, Kai Steinecke, an avid meat lover, decided he wants to leave his comfort zone and does want to know how the sausage gets made, literally. A word of warning, the report contains scenes some viewers may find disturbing.
Good afternoon, I am Shade Uwe. This is News Brief. A bloody clash has occurred in Borno State between Boko Haram fighters and those of the Islamic State of West African Province, ISWAP, claiming scores of lives. The wave of insecurity in the northeast at the weekend also saw the convoy of Yobe State Governor Mai Malabuni come under insurgents' attack, leaving a policeman dead. Kaduna and Sokoto states were also not spared the horror of insecurity as gunmen killed a pastor in the former and abducted his wife, while a clash between some youths and bandits in Sokoto state also left one person dead. The spokesperson for the Sokoto State Police Command, ASP Ahmed Rufai, said the bandits, in an attempt to attack Kwakwala community in the Sokoto metropolis, engaged in a shootout with the youths of the area. The PPRO, however, assured that the command, under the leadership of CP Ali Kaigama, was doing everything possible to ensure that the culprits were apprehended. The Nigerian Defense Headquarters reports that the military has continued to target terrorists, insurgents, and extremist groups, resulting in the elimination of 50 terrorists, 122 arrests, 49 oil theft perpetrators, and 182 kidnapped hostages. The troops also recovered 66 weapons and 11,000 ammunition. They also conducted air interdiction on the terrorist leaders' enclave. Operatives of the Bayelsa State Command have arrested a man in connection with the murder of the late Bako Angbashim, who until his death was a divisional police officer of Awada Division. The police spokesman in Bayelsa State, Botswat Asinim, said the suspect, 43-year-old Onyekachi Ikowa, believed to be second in command to the dreaded Icelanders cult leader Tubaba, was arrested on Saturday, 18th November 2023 at his hideout in Yanagwa. It was gathered that Onyekachi had initially fled to Shagamu in Ogun State, but returned to Yanagwa, where he was laying low. The Commissioner of Police, Bayelsa State Command, CP Francis Ido, has charged police operatives to fish out any of his cohorts who are hiding in Bayelsa State, stressing that the Bayelsa Command under his watch would not be a haven for criminals to hide. Meanwhile, the suspect has been handed over to the Rivers State Police Command for further investigation. A female student of the Federal Polytechnic of in Kwara State, Ms. Toyi Bamidele, has been allegedly hacked to death by yet-to-be-identified people. The Aya National Diploma student of food technology was said to have been murdered in a rented apartment outside the campus on Thursday. The acting head of the Public Relations Unit of the institution, Mrs. Folake Oyinloye, told reporters that the management of the Polytechnic has commenced an investigation into the bizarre murder in conjunction with security agencies. While condoling with the family in a statement, Mrs. Folake Oyinloye described the demise as an irreparable loss to the entire management and staff of the Polytechnic and urges anyone who has useful information on this occurrence to report to security agents. All efforts to contact the State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Olaiya Mobolaji, proved abortive at the time of this report. The federal government has disclosed plans to release 4,068 inmates nationwide as part of measures to decongest the nation's correctional centers. Speaking at the flag-off ceremony in Abuja, the Minister of Interior, Olubumi Tunji Ojo, said that the program is targeted at indigent inmates who cannot afford to pay their fines. He said the federal government has raised 585 million naira to be used for the payment of fines to secure the release of the inmates across the federation. The minister said the initiative was targeted at inmates with fines and compensations that did not exceed 1 million naira, stressing that the government's commitment to transform custodial and non-custodial facilities was initiated to align with international human rights standards and effective correctional practices and was in line with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's vision. Governor Abba Kibaru Yusuf of Kano State has appealed for calm and plans to reclaim his mandate at the Supreme Court. The appeal court in Abuja upheld the tribunal's ruling that sacks Governor Yusuf and declared Nasiru Yusuf Gawuna of the All Progressives Congress APC winner of the March 18th election. Yusuf has instructed his legal team to challenge the ruling at the Supreme Court.
I want to inform the good people of Kano State and indeed all well-meaning Nigerians that based on the consensus of our stakeholders, we have instructed our lawyers to commence the process of appealing this judgment at the Supreme Court of Nigeria. We are optimistic that the Supreme Court will, by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, set aside these miscarriages of justice by the tribunal and the appeal court and reaffirm our mandate given to us by the good people of Kano State. I therefore want to urge all the good people of Kano State to continue to go about their legitimate businesses unimpeded, as government has taken all necessary measures to ensure the security of lives and properties in the state. I want to assure you that this temporary setback will not deter us from continuing with all our projects and programs targeted at restoring the lost glory of our state. We shall continue to roll out more projects and programs to better the lives of the good people of our state.
The All Progressives Congress APC National Chairman Abdullahi Ganduje has stated that the Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf will face defeat at the Supreme Court. The appeal court upheld the verdict of the Kano State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, which nullified Yusuf's election. The court declared that APC candidate Nasiru Gawuna was the true winner of the March 18 governorship election in Kano. The three-member panel led by Justice M.A. Adome ruled that Yusuf was not qualified to contest the election. Ganduje, however, vowed that the APC candidate would still win at the Supreme Court.
Commercial activities are almost a standstill in Kano. So the people of Kano are jubilating now. If you ask now, there's jubilation in Kano because people are happy, and people, those who have been, whose properties have been demolished, they went to the court of law, and the court of law has also ruled that they should be paid a compensation of 30 billion naira. And this is just the start. There are so many people that have gone to the court. So we have to thank judiciary for doing what they are supposed to do. We know they will go to the Supreme Court. That's no problem. Democracy has provided that opportunity for them to go to Supreme Court. Also, in the Supreme Court, we fear and we pray to Almighty God to give us success.
All that has to be said about the judgment and what have you, our leader has already mentioned it. My main concern now is the expectation of people of Kano State on myself. So my prayer now that inshallah by the time Allah affirms this, the expectation we should be able to match what people expect, or we even do more.
INEC has issued a certificate of return to Bayelsa State Governor Doye Diri, who won the November 11 election, and its Deputy Governor, Lawrence Erujakpo. The certificates were presented by INEC National Commissioner May Agbamoche Umbu at the INEC State Office in Yanagwa. Diri won the governorship election at the last off-cycle governorship election in the state,
which is in fulfillment of the requirement of Section 72(1) of the Electoral Act 2022, that certificates of return should be issued within 14 days following the declaration of a winner.
It's one historic moment for me, for my deputy governor, and for the people of Bayelsa State. I want to appreciate the electorate, the people of Bayelsa State, for standing behind what they believe was a government that has performed and must go into a second tenure.
Meanwhile, former President Goodluck Jonathan has praised Governor Duoye Diri's efforts in tackling insecurity, stating that his re-election will make the state safer. Jonathan visited Diri in Yanagwa, Bayelsa, a week after he won a closely contested poll. He emphasized that if Diri had lost, the gains made in curbing insecurity would have been lost as well.
You win an election, and you win the way you have won, free, fair, clear. We have to commend you. And I'm happy that the Bayelsans have seen what you have done and what you are doing, and I've also seen your heart. And they say, it's good you complete your 4 years.
The Independent National Electoral Commission has presented certificates of return to Kogi State Governor-elect Ahmed Ododo and his deputy, Joel Oyibo, as well as Bayelsa State Governor Duoye Diri, who won the November 11 governorship elections. Ododo, who won the election, pledged to not disappoint the people who reposed tremendous confidence in him by voting massively for him.
I invite every citizen of our dear state to join hands in building a future that reflects our collective mission to serve our state.
To the glory of God, the good people of Kogi State elected freely, fairly, in an exercise that was so free of rancor. Kogi State citizens have spoken.
Still in politics, the Social Democratic Party, SDP, is challenging the results of the November 2023 Kogi governorship election, citing anomalies in voting centers that should have resulted in a different winner. The party is pleading with the Independent National Electoral Commission to recognize Muritala Ajaka as the legitimately elected governor, while gathering evidence for illegal dispute with the All Progressives Congress APC. The SDP National Chairman, Alhaji Shehu Gabam, expressed disappointment at the disregard for the rule of law.
Our prayers are as follows. A. Cancel the polling units affected by overvoting. B. Reverse the observed irregularities. C. Resign on the result declared by the returning officer. D. Declared proper and valid results. E. Rescind on erroneous or lawful return of Ahmed Usman Ododo. F. Declare Murtala Yakubu Ajaka as duly elected governor of Kogi State.
Excellence is not a standard but a journey. It is a continuous process of striving for improvement, pushing boundaries, and setting new benchmarks. These were the submissions of the chairman, CMS Grammar School Merit Award 2023, Senator Akin Odunsi, in his opening remarks at the event, which held at the school premises in Bariga, Lagos. Plus TV News correspondent Love Ikuku Oyedokun tells us more in this report.
Grammarians from within and outside Nigeria are well represented here.
The venerable Adelaja Hall was filled to capacity, with the old grammarians accompanied by their families, friends and loved ones as they relished the moment. And quickly, they settled down to the day's business. First was a citation of the chairman of the day, Senator Akin Odunsi. Senator Odunsi commended the commitment of members to excellence, which he said has remained the driving force behind the growth of the school.
As we come together to recognize and celebrate excellence, we acknowledge the toil and remarkable achievements of individuals, sects, chapters, and branches who have demonstrated exceptional performance, ingenuity, and a tireless commitment to preserving the great legacy of our alma mater.
This was followed by an opening remarks by the President, Old Grammarian Society, OGS, Cyril Ogbekene. The president said the concept of the Merit Award was ingrained in the reward system culture of the CMS Grammar School as an institution.
In hindsight, most, if not all, grammarians present here would agree that the concept of the Merit Award we run today is ingrained in the reward system culture of the CMS Grammar School as an institution. And the group can say the fact that the ever-invigorating lyrics of the world's best school song resonates in the enduring culture of our family.
Now, the awards proper. The Outstanding Grammarian Award went to late Venerable Dr. Yinka Omololu. In the Individual Merit Awards category, Adesonya Laide, Madreke Chik. Moving on to news outside Africa. The World Health Organization, WHO, has described Al-Shifa Hospital in Gaza City as a death zone after a visit to the complex. A joint UN team led by the WHO assessed the hospital for 1 hour following its occupation and evacuation by the Israeli military. The team said they saw evidence of shelling and gunfire and also observed a mass grave at the hospital's entrance. Following evacuation orders issued by the Israeli army, 300 critically ill patients remain in Al-Shifa, formerly the largest and most advanced hospital in Gaza. The WHO said it was trying to arrange the urgent evacuation of remaining patients and staff to other facilities in Gaza and has repeatedly called for a ceasefire. Insider reports have claimed that Israel, the United States, and Hamas have reached a tentative agreement to free dozens of women and children held hostage in Gaza in exchange for a 5-day pause in fighting. However, both Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and U.S. officials said no deal had been reached yet. The report comes as Israel appears to be preparing to expand its offensive against Hamas militants to southern Gaza after airstrikes killed dozens of Palestinians, including civilians reported to be sheltering at 2 schools. Under the agreement, all parties are expected to freeze combat operations for at least 5 days, while 50 or more hostages are released in groups every 24 hours. Recall that Hamas took about 240 hostages during its October 7 rampage inside Israel that killed 1,200 people. The pause also is intended to allow a significant amount of humanitarian aid in, adding that the outline for the deal was put together during weeks of talks in Qatar. And in business news, Seplat's PLC's Director of New Energy, Efyong Okon, announced plans to build a $250 million gas plant in Sapele Delta State. The announcement was made during the Nigeria Oil and Gas Outlook event, which aimed to attract substantial investments to Africa's largest economy. Nigeria holds the largest natural gas reserves on the continent, and exports have increased significantly in the past 23 years. Effiong stressed the importance of the private sector in driving investment in the oil and gas sector, highlighting the government's support and ensuring a secure environment for sustainable growth. In entertainment, singer Bellash's mother has called on the police to release the body of his deceased friend, Ilerioluwa Aloba, also known as Mohbad. In a post shared on his X handle, Bellash's mother said it has been 2 months since Mohbad died and his body was taken for an autopsy and has since not been released. He called on the police to release Mohbad's body for a befitting funeral to be held for him and also called for the result of the autopsy. In sports, former national team captains Daniel Amokachi and Joseph Yobo are confident that the Super Eagles will bounce back to winning ways after their poor start in the 2026 World Cup qualifying campaign. The three-time African champions were held to a 1-1 draw at home to Lesotho in their opening fixture at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium last Thursday. Ahead of their match day 2 encounter against Zimbabwe on Sunday in Kigali, Rwanda, the duo, who won the AFCON title as a player in 1994 and 2013, expressed confidence in the team's talent to secure qualification for the 2026 edition of the tournament, to be co-hosted by USA, Canada, and Mexico. And that's the news brief. For more stories, please follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at PlusTvAfrica and PlusTvAfrica Lifestyle. You can also view us from Limex on limex.tv and Glow TV apps anywhere in the world. I am Sade Uwe. Thanks for watching.
Increase the reach of your events or business services. To advertise on Plus TV Africa, please call 0906 000 5719 or 0909 040 8408, or send an email to marketing@plustvafrica.com. Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
Is it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria?
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Imagine that you're going to live for 100 years. The